Hey, what's up, guys? It's Joshua Sohn on another episode of Composing Secrets. If you guys are interested in music production and composing lessons, this is the place to go. This lesson is actually going to be catered towards the Eastern side of things, the Eastern Asian type of music, and the flavor that defines this type of music is the scales that are used. So, a lot of times, if you're trying to evoke the sounds of martial arts, like the Shaolin temples and kung fu, you'll hear this in Kung Fu Panda and things like that. It's really important to think of the notes, and along with the notes, then the instruments, along with the instruments, rhythms, etc. But we're gonna just focus on that first part, which is the type of notes that you want to select, and we're gonna call it the Eastern Asian Pentatonic scale. We're gonna start now here with a folk song. This is a folk song from Korea called Arirang, and I'll play a little bit on the piano as well as with the example. 아리랑 아리랑 아라리요 아리랑 고개로 넘어간다 So if we're to go over our notes and scale degrees, we would have 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6, or F sharp, G sharp, A sharp, C sharp, and D sharp. Okay, now this is really the major scale, but we're gonna cut out the 4th and the 7th of the scale, which is we're not going to be playing the B or the E sharp. So all of a sudden, if we're only stuck with those 5 notes, and you can shape your rhythms in a certain way, maybe pitch bend also, you would get yourself a nice authentic Korean sound. Now that is just one example. I'm gonna go over to another country, Japan. Japan actually tends to use the same idea but in a minor setting. So right now we're in the major in Korea. Now we're gonna fly over to Japan. There you go. So we have here the same notes, but we're gonna flat the 3rd and we're gonna flat the 6th. Okay, let's use a different key this time. So an easy one would be, of course, a key of A minor. You might have heard this before. Right? That's fairly common if you imagine using koto or a string Japanese instrument and doing that. Well, let's analyze this now. We have again the 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6 of the scale degrees in what you would have a natural minor scale. So we're gonna still cut out the 4th, which would be this one. I'm gonna cut out the 7th as well. So you're left with A, B, C, E, and F. So there is a popular track. It's called Sakura. This is a very famous Japanese tune. It's also been, I think, inspired by modern composers like Hans Zimmer in Interstellar. There's a piano track that almost sounds like Sakura, actually. But anyways, this is something that is very distinct in notes, and when I play it for you, I want you to pay attention to the harmony. How would you harmonize this type of music? Okay, and we're back. So, I hope you enjoyed that. Sakura is all in a minor key. Again, going back to our notes here, whatever key you're in, whether it's in key of C, it's 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6. Okay, or let's say we're in key of G minor, then it'd be same thing, right? So we're shifting all of that. If you were to play this on the guitar, probably be a little easier, right? Because all you're doing is shifting the hand positions, whereas on the piano you really have to think about where all the notes would be in relation to each other on the mode. A little side note: when you guys are playing your scales, sometimes it's also good to think about your modes, and much like the modes of Aeolian, Locrian, Dorian, things like that. There is a concept of that in these type of pentatonic scales as well. So, for instance, in the Japanese type of pentatonics, if I were to shift the bottom note up to the top, so in this case A, I would start now with B, and then be C, E, F, A. Okay? Now, so I just shifted everything and inverted that bottom note to the top. And this would actually be called something. I think it's called the Iwato scale or Iwato mode. And really all that is the Locrian mode minus 2 notes in that scale degree. So it's really interesting to see the parallels between the Eastern type of music theory and the Western music theories. All right, I'm going to talk about one more that was actually intriguing to me, and then we're going to jump over now to the country of China. There's a very famous tune called General's Order that was covered by another singer that used that track in Once Upon a Time in China. So I'll play that for you right now. Okay, so the General's Order starts in the key of B flat minor. So if we were to analyze the scales that's used in this, or scale I should say, then it would be something like this. So all of a sudden, if you analyze that, it's really the same as the Western pentatonic. 1, flat 3, 4, 5, 5, and flat 7th. Okay. The only difference is Western pentatonic also includes the sharp 4th. But in this Chinese folk song, it's using essentially those 5 tones. And so my point here is the Western pentatonic and Eastern pentatonic can also be used interchangeably. A lot of it has more to do with the rhythms, structuring of the melody, pitch bendings, the techniques involved that make the distinction between Western and Eastern music. If you listen to other traditional folk tunes, go to the Britannica.com or Britannica Encyclopedia online version, and you'll be able to listen to a lot of authentic folk tunes there. And you'll notice that it's not always these five notes. Sometimes they actually bend up to the seventh degree or the fourth degree, and it's not unusual to hear that. It is something that is used sparingly, though. Okay, let's summarize what we talked about today. There are three types of Asian pentatonic scales that I've discovered in studying some of the folk music. Let's call it by the country name. So first off, let's start with Japan's Sakura, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Those five notes comprise of the natural minor pentatonic, okay, so that's the first one. We'll call it the Japanese pentatonic. Now, going to Korea, we have Arirang. Now, those five notes would be in this. A shortcut would be using the black key, starting with G flat, and that would be your Korean pentatonic scale, and variations of that when you start shifting these notes up. Okay, so that is a Korean one, and the last one is the Chinese one, using the folk music example general's order. So we're gonna shift over to black keys down here, and this will be your tonic. Okay, so those five notes would be basically the Western equivalent pentatonic, and you can shift that to, let's say, the key of C, and you can play those notes too. So I hope you guys learned something new today. I had a blast learning more about this, and I know I didn't really go into a lot of technical details or even names of things, but I hope that will get you started and get you comfortable in writing for this type of genre. If you guys enjoyed and want to see more videos, please hit the subscribe button, and I will see you next time.